What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sip-Off, where we have drinks and we talk all things basketball. Y'all know what time it is. It's March Madness. We're only talking about NCAA right now. We will get to NBA and WNBA after tournament time. But first, let me go ahead and get my guests on here. We got Will Vogel is in the house. What's up, Will? How are you?
It's unbelievable, baby. It's March Madness is here. It's lively. It's great. It's happening where I'm living. It's phenomenal. It's a great time of year. It's my favorite time of year.
Awesome. Well, how's your week been?
It's been good. I've been working a lot recently. I've been working these 9-hour shifts, and it's good. It's building that paycheck up. Yeah, I got to teach a kids workshop the other day at work so that was cool working with kids and teaching them some stuff. But yeah, I'm ready to talk to the hoopers.
Awesome. So glad.
Go
all right,
Heels, baby.
we got okay. All right, we got our next guest. We got Steve Shawanda. What's up, Steve?
What's up, Megan? How you doing?
How are you? I'm great. Well, I'm a 1 seed, so I'm great.
You're just living the dream. And this is this is like my Christmas. And because of my schedule, I don't work tomorrow, so like I just can't wait. And Oakland, who I know, two of the assistant coaches, and I've talked to Coach Campy, their head coach, many times, but like two of their assistant coaches are like good friends of mine. So obviously I use my heart and I picked them to beat Kentucky. And right now they're up by 1. I'm just saying, but yeah. This is the best. This is the best time of year for me. Like I love this time. Gonzaga's playing, which is why I'm wearing my Adam Morrison Gonzaga jersey. So yeah,
I'm rooting for McNeese.
Yeah, so is my son. My son he had McNeese making a run. He's like, they're really good. My 13-year-old son.
They are really good.
Really good. I was like, yeah, I know they're 30-3, but calm down.
Well, okay, so I have a personal reason of why I'm rooting for McNeese. We have a local boy from here who went to Kennedy's High School a couple of years ahead of her, and he's playing at McNeese now. I'm sure if y'all watch McNeese at all, y'all know who Hotta Wells is. He's from Amarillo, went to Tascosa, so same school as my baby. We got to support him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to support the people. Got to support the people.
Definitely. All right, we got our next guest. We got Coach Dante in the house. It's been a minute. What's up, Coach?
What up, y'all?
How are you? How's your week going?
My week is going great. If the Longhorns do survive this game, I need Tennessee to put us up out of our misery. Dylan DeSue and Max Amos are goddamn god awful. Even though the DeSue it just hit a big 3-point play, but they've been awful in this game.
Yeah, it's been a rough season. I feel you. I had a friend that was talking to me or tried to talk to me about Texas losing to Kansas State in the Big 12 tournament. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I watched 3 of the guys' games this year, and one of them they lost to Tech. And so I'm done with them. The ladies were a 1 seed. It's good.
The moment I knew they were gonna struggle, they were gonna have a terrible season when they lost to West Virginia. That's how I knew. I was
right. All right, we got one more guest. We got Joseph Jenkins. What's up, Joseph?
About time, Joseph. About time.
Listen, it's okay, right. Missed a couple weeks and you haven't been on. Nice to see you too, Will.
Hey man, if you look on my Instagram and follow me on Instagram, you'll know what I be up to. Y'all know what I actually really be up to.
No worries. No worries. Y'all never feel any pressure about coming on the show. All right, so real quick before we jump into it, what is everybody drinking? I am having a red blend. Josh, that's what I'm drinking. What else is everybody else drinking? Got Dr. Pepper.
Willer Light. I'm having an invisible Willer Light.
An invisible one. What are you drinking, Joseph? You're normal in a Subway cup?
Actually, water. I'm good.
Water, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
You're not.
So I guess the only one drinking with me is Steve. What are you drinking today, Steve?
Well, you don't even ask.
Jaeger bombs.
I have Jaeger bombs right here that I've done a few of, and then just Will Light for Will. So yeah. And by the way, JJ, what up, my man?
What's up, Steve?
Oh, he took off.
I'm here.
He's like, I can hear you.
What's up, Steve? What's up, boss?
My guy.
All right, so let's start with the guys because obviously they started their tournament a little bit before the ladies. In the first four, we had Wagner versus Howard. Wagner comes out on top in an exciting one, 71-68. Any thoughts on this first game?
Real quick. So
go ahead.
I had Howard, and I will admit, just because I'm old, some of you might know this reference. Will probably doesn't because he's young. But Ludacris told us about how he can't miss the homecoming at Howard in one of his songs. So I did pick Howard to win. And they had three looks at a three to tie the game. The first one wasn't bad. The second one was very forced. The third one was absolutely amazing. Like a step in, nobody contesting, perfect look. He just missed it, which happens, right? But quick tangent, I'm sorry.
Hampton is the real HU.
If you win your conference tournament, you should be in. The play-in should be the eight borderline teams playing for the 4 10 seeds. Period. Paragraph. Done.
I agree. I'll be honest with you.
Hampton is the real HU. I just had to mess with them.
To be honest, I didn't watch any of the first 4 matchups. I know it's like part of March Madness, but I don't really watch them because I'm just like, okay. But I did check the score every so often.
Okay, I get it. All right, so our next first 4 game I did watch because it affected Texas. Colorado State versus Virginia, the 2 10 seeds. Colorado State gives a major beatdown on Virginia, 67-42. Coach Dante, talk to us about this one.
Well, look like we about to put Colorado State up out the tournament, but it's more about Virginia. Don't you know they went 10 minutes without scoring a bucket? How are you going to win a game going 10 minutes without scoring a bucket? That is unacceptable. I don't know if that falls on the coaching or the player, or the players are just not as good. But going 10 minutes in the second half without a basket, that is unacceptable. But that just showed you how really bad, of a season and how really much of a drop-off that Virginia really had. I mean, and Colorado State, get them credit. They had a statement to make. They were pretty much left out. They were hot in this game. They shot the ball pretty well. But more Virginia was just god-awful bad in this game. You went
It ain't exactly
in the basket.
It ain't exactly uncommon with the Tony Bennett style.
That is true. That is true.
All right, sliding over.
Go ahead.
I haven't seen this bad of a Virginia team in a while.
Well, they predicate themselves on defense, and they predicate themselves on holding you to the least amount of points per game. Correct, right? I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
where'd Steve go?
He ain't never really had. And Megan, that 2019 Saddle team was probably his best offensive group of players on a primarily defensive team. It's crazy. That's okay. Texas, y'all gonna beat them. Y'all gonna beat them.
All right, sliding over to our next first four game. We had Grambling State versus Montana State, and this was a very exciting game, 88-81. Did this one go to overtime? Is that right?
Yes, it did.
I believe it
very
did.
Good, very, very good game. Grambling State ends up coming out on top, 88-81. Any thoughts on this game at all? Did y'all get a chance to watch that one or no?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm always happy for. I'm always happy for our HBCUs. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course.
Because this was, I think, their first time ever making the NCAA tournament.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Whether they win or not, it's a big deal for all of those students.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huge deal.
All right. Well, that finishes up the first four games. So then the first round started today in a game that I know that a good portion of us probably went ahead and picked Michigan State because Tom Izzo's like 65% in games where he is the lower seed. So being the lower seed does not seem to affect them except giving him the momentum to move forward. I picked Michigan State over Mississippi State. This was 69-51. Did y'all pick that same result?
I did. Yep. I will never go against Tom Izzo in a first round. Like, he has such a great resume in the first round. And fun fact, that today marked, with today's win, it was his 20th first round game victory. So, Coach Izzo's been around for a while, but he knows how to win. So, I did pick Michigan State in this game as well, despite them not having a great year like they normally have. They have been good in the past. They're just not as good as like the other Big Ten teams. But you know what? I picked Michigan State.
It's a really well coached. I mean, Izzo. I kind of have the thing. Izzo's the one coach who I can honestly say his teams have advanced further than they should have because of his ability to coach and game plan.
Absolutely.
Because they have been able to. I picked them even before even thinking the thought, just because I know how Tom Izzo gets his teams prepared for NCAA tournaments. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they even knock off the 1 seed next game against North Carolina, I believe, if they play North Carolina, because it's something about what he brings with his squad. Either they're going to lose in a close game or they're going to win. But one thing for certain, his teams, they're like, before he retired, they're like Boeheim at Syracuse. They're going to compete. They're going to be there. And they're going to be, and he's one of the few coaches that still seeks those guys that stay for those 3 to 4 years. He doesn't just look for one and dones. He still believes in the system and developing. And a lot of the reason why his teams have been able to make it and do well is because they're a team. They're an actual team. They know each other. They know what their ins and outs are.
So sliding over to the next. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, JJ pretty much said everything that I was gonna really say, but I'm gonna add really more to it. I am picking them to be upset North Carolina. Remember how they whooped up on Marquette last year when they were I think they were the 2 seed, but they got a lot of veterans.
They were
they got a lot of veterans, man, on that squad. Malik Hall, Tyson Walker, those are all like 5-year, 4-year players. So you got a lot of veteran experience and stuff on that team. And plus, Tom Izzo. That they remind me of the Miami Heat of the NBA. You don't want to see them in the NCAA tournament. You don't want to see they know how to game plan for you in the NCAA tournament. And I think for North Carolina, I think that's a dangerous matchup for North Carolina.
It is. I think they'll play us close for sure.
If that game is close, I'm gonna figure. I think Michigan State will figure out a way to try to win that game.
Part of me feels like if it was Roy Williams coaching them, I would probably then been like, okay, I'll give it to North Carolina. But I'm still trying to figure out Hubie Brown. Like, I'm still trying to, Hubie Davis, just because, they overachieved that first year as his coaching, and then it kind of had some up and downs. They got rid of some drama on their squad, which they needed to get rid of. And so, but it's just,
I'm waiting for the Caleb Love game. That's what I'm waiting on. Like, they need to make it all the way so that Caleb Love game can happen. Like, it's destined. We're ready. The committee is petty. I love it. I love the drama.
Baycott should get a double-double and should get almost like 15, 16 rebounds if they are
killing it this year. Him, RJ Davis, Cormac Ryan. Yeah, we're ready.
Isn't RJ Davis up for Player of the Year?
He won ACC Player of the Year, but he should be up for it for sure.
So the next game, and this is where a lot of the brackets got busted, and I have to say I was on that side of that. I picked BYU over Duquesne. BYU is in the Big 12. Got to see them give a couple of upsets this season. A team that I thought I didn't think they were we're going to take it super deep, but I didn't expect them to lose in this first round. They beat Texas Tech at one point, and I want to say they may not have beat Baylor, but they had another big win in the Big 12 as well. So I was surprised by this one. What was your thoughts on BYU and Duquesne?
Let me tell you how mad I am.
Go ahead,
Joseph.
Is he frozen?
Oh, I think he froze.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here. Well,
technical difficulties, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Go ahead.
I'll just go real fast. What was the difference in the game is Duquesne had a better field goal percentage, a better 3-point percentage shooting, and than BYU, and that's what's gonna decide a game, shooting. So yeah, Duquesne shot better than BYU from 3 and from 2.
Here's the funny thing about this game. The only reason why I did not pick Duquesne is when I was filling my bracket, I didn't have enough time to write their name in. I was going to pick them over BYU, but I had to hurry up and get it in, submit it to my mom, so the bracket. But I felt that Duquesne was going to win this game. And I literally am sitting here thinking, like, this literally stopped pretty much a perfect bracket for me today until Nevada, which we'll talk about, losing. I was so mad at that. So mad at that.
Oh, Steve was too.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
But
all right, so moving on to the next matchup, we had the 14 versus the 3. We had Creighton versus Akron. Creighton comes out on top, 77-60. Surprise with this one. I picked Creighton, but I also picked Creighton as a Final Four team.
I got them Elite 8. I actually have them Elite 8.
Okay.
I have them Elite 8.
Go ahead, JJ. My bad.
No, that was it. I was just saying I have them Elite 8. I
got them in the League 8. They did make the Final Four last year. They got some veterans on that team that I like. Alexander is really good. Ryan Colebrenner is a pretty good center as well. That's going to be an interesting matchup between them and Oregon this coming week. Which the Oregon guard dropped 40 points today dropped 40 points today. Him and Dante, those two took over that game today, and Oregon is a pretty good little scrappy team, man. So Creighton got to really come in and play in that game. So I like Oregon.
Absolutely.
They got 2 good freshmen on that team that I actually liked.
Yeah, like the game before, Creighton shot a better field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage than Akron. So that will definitely decide a game. Again, like I said before,
right, absolutely.
Shooting decides a game sometimes.
All right, sliding over to our next matchup was a feel-good story in Long Beach State. I love what their coach had to say, saying that he was like an episode of Seinfeld. He lost his job and just kept coming to work. However, It did not last. Arizona put them out at 85-65. I'm not surprised with that. Arizona is also a Final Four team of mine.
You know what? I'm not surprised either. Arizona's a tough team, and I hope they can play UNC. And I'm a UNC fan, so I'm hoping UNC can beat them. But if not, it's okay because Arizona.
No, Tyler. I'm picking them for the Final Four.
Yeah, I hope Arizona gets to play UNC, and if UNC beats them, great. If not, whatever. But all of the Arizona starters scored in double digits.
Right, yeah.
Arizona's got the talent to win it all. They just need to actually win it all. They have the talent to win it all. They have it. They're a Final Four team for me, too, because I think they're going to take down North Carolina in the end. So I wasn't too surprised. But I think a lot of these top seeds, they kind of like, they be lackadaisical with these lesser seeds for a little bit of a while. And then they turn it on.
Mm-hmm. Agree. All right, Coach Dante, you got anything on this matchup?
Now Arizona, if they can put it all together, they're a good final. They can be a Final Four team. They can be a Final Four team if they can put it all together.
Okay. All right. Moving to our next matchup. This is the 1 versus the 16. We had UNC versus Wagner.
Sorry, Hook'em 1.
Oh yeah. All right. UNC won this one by a lot, 90-62. I don't know that any of us were surprised by that, but go ahead and talk to us a little bit about it, Will.
Yeah, UNC played great. It was a tough first half. We were only up by like maybe 9.5. I can't remember, but our second half was so much better than our first half. Armando Bacot, double-double. This guy's been putting up double-doubles all year. RJ Davis, great shooter, had 22 points. He is our shooter on our team. Cormac Ryan, 13 points. He's also a great transfer who shot the ball well. Withers had a double-double off the bench. And up next, they have Michigan State, which should be a really good game.
Alrighty. Do y'all have anything to add to the UNC matchup?
They should win it. They should win that game. At the end of the day, there's a reason why there's only been one.
And they go on to face Michigan State. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those boys better be ready for a battle. That's what I'm going to say. They better be ready for a battle.
Oh, they are.
UNC did what they supposed to do. They were just too good. They were out talented. They out talented them, and they just that team just ran out of gas. They just didn't have the horses, but it came down to
it was a normal 1-16 matchup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So next we had the 3 versus the 14. We had Illinois versus Morehead State. Illinois comes out on top, 85-69. I'm pretty sure we probably all picked that one. So sliding over to the next matchup, we had the 11 seed Oregon versus South Carolina. I had 2 brackets. Hold on one second. With the Oregon matchup, I had 2 brackets, and one I picked Oregon, and in the other one I had South Carolina. And Oregon came out on top in this one, 87-73. Let's talk this matchup real quick, and then we'll go back to the Illinois one after that.
Yeah, I'll go real quick on this one. Coach Dante already hit it. That guy Jermaine Cousinard or Cuisinart or however you say his last name, he had 40 points for Oregon. That's a big game, especially in the tournament. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if – I know we got other guys like Dalton Connect and other great players still to play tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the highest point total by a guy for maybe even the whole tournament. Like, 40 points is huge.
I love it. All right, Coach Dante, you want to talk to you about this one a little bit?
Jermaine Cousinard was sensational, man. Him and Dante, they were sensational in the second half. I thought their defense was really, really good in this game. They forced a lot of turnovers in the game. They also played great defense at the rim, rebounded the ball pretty well too. So give credit to Oregon, and they also got 2 freshmen who's really good. Who's really good as well. I think Quan. Quan Evans. Quan Evans is a really good, long, talented freshman on Oregon. That's going to be that should be a solid matchup between them and Creighton. This coming weekend.
This is the Pac-12 last year, so I would imagine teams in the Pac-12 are in this want to go out with the bang, and they want to go out, and they want to. And I mean, no shade. I really wasn't buying South Carolina, so when I saw this matchup and I saw that, I was just like, okay. Granted, this was a total guess, but I felt more comfortable in Oregon than I did South Carolina because I have seen Oregon throughout the years, and I know what they give, and I know. When South Carolina is good, it's
that conference championship said a lot. South Carolina got a little shaky at the last couple weeks of the season.
Is Oregon's coach Dana Altman? I forget who their coach is. It Dana Altman still?
It could. I'm not. But it's like, for example, it's a big win for them. This next game against Creighton should be a very good game that should come down to the very end. But usually when I've seen South Carolina do well, it's kind of a out of the nowhere type situation. And when they come across, hi, Amber. Yes. When listen, that's my girl, Amber. By the way, Megan, is this the hook 'em horn, right? This is the hook the horn?
Yes.
Okay, yes. I was just making sure when you did, I was like, okay, cool, yeah.
Not this. This is NC State. Everyone gets confused.
Yeah, no, that's not NC this. State. That's the Wolf Pack. Yeah.
Is it? Okay, got it. Got you.
Thumb on the outside.
JJ be making gang signs on the Sip-Off. I'm kidding.
Let me tell you something. Listen, I like purple, so like I told the frat boys and Q's, I am not part of your thing. I just love the color. Okay? But yeah, other than that, nice win. Advances. There's always an 11, 12, or 13 seed that gets past. There's always one in every year. This happened to have two so far.
Will, yes, Dana Altman is the coach. And then talk to us whatever you wanted to say about Illinois and Morehead State.
Yeah, the quick thing I wanted to say is Illinois played a really good Big Ten tournament. They also have to face Purdue and stuff like that, Wisconsin. But shout out to Marcus Domask or whatever, Domask. He had a triple-double.
Okay.
And I think if I'm not wrong, I could be wrong, there's only been 10 triple-doubles in NCAA history.
Okay.
Which is insane.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I want to say.
All right. I'm going to slide through these last two matchups that are already final. So Nevada versus Dayton. Dayton comes out on top 63-60. And then Colorado State lost to Texas. That's the 7 versus the 10. Both of those are the 7 versus the 10. Texas comes out on top 56-44. Now, oh man, y'all see the Gonzaga score?
What is it? I didn't see it.
53-29. I hate that for them.
Wait, McNeese has 29?
Yeah.
That's tough.
McNeese lost or they won?
No, they're getting
well, it's the second half, the first part of the second half, but it's 55-31 right now. And then Kentucky is down right now to Oakland. That's the 3 versus the 4, 61-56 with 8 minutes left in the second half. Then we got San Diego State versus Iowa State. That's the 2 versus the 15. Iowa State is up 54-38. Then we will have the 2 versus the 15, Tennessee versus St. Peter's. Any of those that y'all want to touch on, and then we'll slide over to the rest of the matchups tonight.
Yeah, I'll touch on the Iowa State.
Really,
South Dakota State.
Disappointed me.
Iowa State killed Houston in the conference title game and made a statement and said, hey, guess what? This team is not all that it's made out to be. And trust me, I still think Houston's going to have a good run to NCAA. But Iowa State, I have them going pretty far because what they did in the conference tournament, winning their conference tournament. But they made a statement saying, yeah, they were the best team in the conference tournament, and they're probably going to get 1 seed in the tournament. But guess what? We're here, and we're going to make noise in March, too.
Right. Going back to Tyler's comment, I picked McNeese purely on emotion. They have a local from here that plays for them, Hotawells. So that's why I picked McNeese. But I did, and Gonzaga was having such an off year that I really thought that they stood a chance. And maybe they do. There's still a bunch of time on the clock, so we shall see. JJ, do you have anything about those matchups that I just talked about? Kentucky, Oakland, Gonzaga, McNeese, or Iowa and South Dakota State?
Kentucky, I'm kind of a little surprised because I thought they would kind of take away, but being in a battle, and when you're in a battle, especially in this tournament, you just don't know, and you better get it together soon enough, because if you don't figure it out, you could be on the outside looking in. And then we'll be having another season of high expectations for Jay Calipari with one swapping amazing title with his teams. We're not going to talk about him because, I could go all day about that.
Thanks for watching, Tyler. We appreciate you popping in.
Bye, Tyler. See you later, my man. But I do want to say I am surprised in Nevada. So we'll go back to that one really quick just because.
Sure.
18 points. There's no way. You actually are a team that's been in the the tournament before. You have also won games and have advanced in the tournament before. It shouldn't have happened. And then you messed up my bracket a little bit, but it's okay. It's all right. But I will say the big teams. I'm with you. Megan. I'm with you on that one because watching it, I was at the work event at Buffalo Wild Wings and I saw it first and they were up and I was like, okay, cool. We in the clear, Joseph. We rolling up in here. Get home. And I'm just like, okay. There goes that perfect side of the bracket.
Right. All right. Sliding over to our next matchups. We've got a big one here. We got NC State versus Texas Tech. That is the 6 versus the 11. Texas Tech being the 6. That one starts at 9:40 Eastern tonight. Any thoughts on this matchup? Now, NC State did manage to win their conference championship. And I want to say, I don't think they've lost a game. They're on an 11-game win streak. Is that right?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to point this out real quick. As a Tar Heel fan, I'm supposed to say I hate NC State, but you know what? I gave them their flowers when they beat us in the championship. What killed UNC in their conference championship, I was mad. I was watching that game with my friend. We shot terribly. They have a big man who's like 6, I don't know, something, like 200 something pounds. Big dude, has dribble moves somehow. I call him Shaq with dribble moves. Yeah, they played great. Everyone's like, oh, who are they playing? New Mexico State? Yeah. So I actually have them beating New Mexico State in a bunch of my brackets just because they played well in the conference tournament. I think they can make maybe a 3-round run, but I've got to go, Megan. Okay. I want to thank you guys for having me, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay, thanks, Will, for coming on.
See you guys. Have a good night.
All right.
See you later, man. Are you able to hear me? Am I coming through?
Yes, I can hear you.
Am I coming through? I will to answer a question.
It's breaking up some.
All right, let me get out. I'll be back.
Okay, and you'll come back. Okay. Coach Dante, talk to me about this matchup with NC State and Texas Tech.
I think Texas Tech. I think NC State is going to win this game. I got NC State with the upset. I think they're the hottest team coming into the tournament. They beat North Carolina. They also have a solid big man who could take over in the paint as well. So I like NC State in this matchup versus Texas Tech. I like NC State in this matchup.
So in this tournament, momentum is everything. Momentum has had teams win titles. Kemba Walker, UConn. Momentum has got teams to the finals. Juwan Howard in Michigan. Or Michigan John Beeline back when I think Jordan Poole and Wagner were there when they actually had to win their tournament to win through. You win your conference tournament in the ACC of that matter too, a conference that has tournament appeal. I'm very curious to see what this NC State is going to do. I have them winning this game, but it would not surprise me just because knowing how this game is, they could be a Cinderella squad for this year. You win the ACC with the likes of North Carolina, with the likes of Duke, and with the likes of like Virginia, everybody battling Clemson out here.
Yeah.
You never know. And if you come in this thing looking at their record and thinking, oh, you just made it, they just might get you. And momentum's everything right now. They feed off that. And so I got to make NC State winning this game.
Okay. Well, I am rooting for Tech because obviously, I cover the Big 12 and I'm a huge fan of Grant McCasland. Whenever they beat Purdue a couple of years back, I just, kind of checked that off like, oh, who's their head coach? How did they manage to do this? And I've been paying attention to him ever since. And when Tech hired him, I was like, okay, they might be able to turn things around. And they have looked a lot better this season. I'm sure they're not where they want to be yet, but they are moving in that direction. Now, it's a really tough draw. Like y'all said, that momentum coming off of a conference championship, that's huge. You haven't lost a game in 11 games. That's huge. So wishing Tech the best, but I don't know if they're going to be able to win that. So our last two matchups for the men after that will be Stanford, the 13, versus Kansas, the 4. And we know they do have an injured player out. And then we have the 10, Drake, versus the 7, Washington State, the Cougs. This was a hard one for me to pick because Drake was also kind of hot right now as well. But I got a friend that is a Washington State alum, so I went with the Cougs.
I kind of went Drake. I went Drake
okay.
Here.
No, and I completely understand. It was a hard to pick because Drake was hot in their conference tournament as well.
I took Drake in this game also. I was on Drake.
What about the Kansas matchup?
Is Bill Self coaching it?
He is there, but they have their best players injured.
True, but I will give him enough credit to get at least to the round of 32. Okay. Maybe it won't surprise me if they don't get it, but Kansas, you're a perennial tournament host or a perennial tournament team. I will give it based off of the respect to think that Bill Self can get his team without his best player or one of his best players to the round of 32. Maybe not further, but at least to the round of 32.
Okay. All right. So I will run through the matchups that we have tomorrow real quick, and then we'll slide over to the ladies matchups.
My bad. I'm going for I'm taking Stanford in this game. I'm taking. Yeah,
I think there's a possible upset here.
I think Kansas is wounded right now, and I just think Bill Self. I won't be surprised if he can get his team to the past this round. But again, I'm going with Stanford. Stanford.
Okay. All right. So what we're looking forward to tomorrow to start everything off at 12:15 Eastern. We got the 9 versus the 8, Northwestern versus Florida Atlantic. I took Northwestern in that one. Then at 12:40 Eastern, we got Colgate versus Baylor. That's the 3 versus the 14. We know Colgate is known for handing out first round upsets. They they're in a smaller conference, but they win their conference all the time. I don't think this is the year that they upset Baylor though.
Yeah.
Then we got UAB versus San Diego State. This is one that I have circled that could possibly be the upset. And that will be at 1:45 tomorrow Eastern. That's the 5 versus the 12. Then we'll have Western Kentucky versus Marquette. That's the 2 versus the 15. That will be at 2 Eastern. Then we have Stetson versus UConn at 2:45. Then we have Clemson versus New Mexico. This is something that Tyler was talking about in the comments as well. I do think that UNM is going to make it pretty far. I don't have them as a Final Four team, but I could see them as an Elite 8 team and definitely a Sweet 16 team. So I have them winning that matchup versus Clemson. Then we got Yale versus Auburn. As much as I love that Yale made the tournament, they're not beating Auburn. That will be at 4:15 tomorrow Eastern. Then we got the 7 versus the 10, Florida versus Colorado, but Florida center is out for the rest of the year. That will be at 4:30 Eastern. Another game that I had circled, obviously because it's the 8-9 matchup, we got Nebraska versus Texas A&M. I am actually going to take Texas A&M in that matchup.
I got them as a sleeper if they get hot in the tournament.
Texas A&M?
Yeah, I got them as a sleeper if they get hot, yes.
Who they're playing? I forgot.
They're playing Nebraska.
Ooh. I kind of went Cornhuskers.
Okay, no problem. All right, then in the 4 versus the 13, we got Duke versus Vermont. That will be at 7:10 Eastern. Duke, I feel like they're good enough to at least get past them.
Interesting. I actually have Vermont. I actually just
okay.
Because correct me, I think this is John Shire's first time coaching in the tournament or second year. So I don't know what to expect from him. And because I have that uncertainty with you in a game with these pressure pack, a team that's a mid-major trying to also, they're going to give it their all. They're going to be out there with you. It wouldn't, I actually got the upset. That's my 13th seed to a 4.
Okay. All right, then we have Grambling State versus Purdue. This is the 1 versus the 16. Purdue was knocked out in this same round, same seeding last year. This will be tomorrow at 7:25 Eastern. Do we think Purdue gets past Grambling State? Was last year just a whole bunch of hype? Are they in their head? Or do we think that they're good enough to actually upset Purdue this year?
I think they will. I think they're going to get it done. I think they're going to get it done just because.
Purdue or Grambling State?
Purdue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree.
They really do. I think they have in my opinion, I think they have the National Player of the Year.
I agree with that. Coach Dante, do you think they get past this round?
They should get past this round. I'm gonna give it to them on this one, but I don't got Purdue going fall. I really don't.
They're not a Final Four team for me. So
they're not either for me.
All right, then we got the 4 versus the 13. We got Alabama versus Charleston. These two teams do not like each other. I'm taking Alabama, but Charleston could upset it. Thoughts on this one?
I got Alabama. I'm not gonna be surprised if Charleston win this game.
Same.
Right. All right. Then we got the 1 versus the 16. We got Houston versus Longwood. I expect Houston to pass by that one. And then we got James Madison versus Wisconsin, the 12 versus the 5. James Madison has been known for upsets as well. Do we think they make it out of the first round?
Real quick on the Houston, that is my title winner. Okay. So let's see what's going on. But
okay.
I'm gonna go with James Madison, and this is really sentimental because my younger cousin, she went there and played basketball for them. So she's now at Temple now, but when she went to James Madison, I'll give him a chance. That's probably the one that I said, okay, I'll take the loss here, but I got James Madison.
Yeah, I got James Madison as well.
Okay. All right, then we got the 8 versus the 9. We got TCU versus Utah State. This will be at 9:55 p.m. tomorrow. I took TCU in this one. I think they're a really tough team. They had some changes from last year, but they still managed to stay relevant. I think that they pushed past Utah State.
I got TCU. I picked TCU to win this game.
Yep.
Okay. And then our last game for tomorrow night, we got the 12 versus the 5, Grand Canyon St. Mary's. We know Grand Canyon served out a huge first round upset last season. So this will be at 10:05 p.m. Eastern. Do we think Grand Canyon does it again this year?
I got St. Mary's. I picked St. Mary's. I don't think they do it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think St. Mary's is a very experienced team that has also made it far in the NCAA tournament. And like for me, I always look at this just from my experience. If you're a Power 5 conference that's used to winning and then you lose to a lower seed, I give you more of a chance to lose to that type of seed again because you have a tendency to overlook them. When you are a team like St. Mary's who has to battle for everything, you're going to bring it just like the other team's going to bring it. And I think that they're a better team, which is why I don't think I'm with Coach. I don't think they're going to get past them.
Okay. All right, so sliding over to the ladies, in our first four yesterday, we had Presbyterian versus Sacred Heart. Presbyterian comes out on top, 49-42. This team will play South Carolina, though. So we heard the announcer say, "Go ahead and soak it up, Presbyterian, because tomorrow is a closed casket funeral."
This speaks to Dawn. This is the same type of dominance that we basically had for any team that played UConn during the Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi years. It's just great season. Wrong opponent. Wrong one. It's because at the end of the day, if it's close after the first quarter, Dawn's getting in there behind. It's like there's no reason. This is definitely a game where I'm sorry, Presbyterian. I really am sorry for this, but I just think that these girls, after what happened in their last game, they are very much on a mission to prove that they are the team to beat. And it's just close. He's right. It's going to be a funeral, and you know it.
He said it, you know it. And then we also had Columbia versus Vanderbilt. This was the 12 seeds versus each other. Vanderbilt comes out on top, 72-68. Now, Vanderbilt being an SEC team, I think that sometimes they get overlooked because you got the LSUs, you got Louisville, you got these other teams that are over there. And I still think that they have one of those programs that they are. I don't know that they're the winner of anything, but they hand out key losses, something that I always talk about. They may not go far, but they're going to hand out a key loss here and there. I'm not surprised that Vanderbilt got that spot.
How long has that? Is that the team that's about to actually play South Carolina? Is this their first time ever getting to the tournament? First time? Oh, what a way to get to the tournament when you have to play a team like South Carolina. What a reward.
Right. Well, and okay, here's the thing about that side of the bracket. And after we do the first four, we'll break down each side of each region. Nebraska, I think, would have been a Final Four team had they not been in that same side of the bracket as South Carolina.
South Carolina has to beat themselves. Plain and simple.
Yeah, no, I agree. But now I do think in this matchup with Presbyterian, though, I think that they will allow. I think Dawn will allow them to keep it close in the first half. She loves to play down to competition. I've seen her do it 100 times. So I think that she runs it easy in that first half, and then the second half they get on the gas, show their dominance, and finish it out with a 20-point plus win.
That's a little shady. Because you give
it's
them
not shady.
No, I'm just joking, but it's like,
oh, okay.
But with her, no, Dawn, it's a little shady. You give this team a little confidence, then bam, you just beat them like that. That's just so shady. That is so shady.
I don't know if it's shady. I don't know if it's disrespectful. I think she's like,
That's like almost carrying a boxing match. You cannot get that person up out of there. You just keeping a person alive and giving them confidence. You just making it a fight.
Right, Coach, when Megan's explaining the story, I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, dang, Dawn, that is so rude. Rude.
But I think it's like she's trying to give them a chance or make them think that they got a chance. We all know they don't. So why? I think she's trying to be polite. We know they don't have a chance.
Girl, why are you being polite? Listen,
it don't matter if Camila's there or not. Like,
we expect you to win by 60, 70, girl. Just stop playing around. Stop playing around. Girl, I know what you're doing because you're from Philly. And y'all Philadelphia people are shady and little petties. So trust and believe.
I don't think she's shady at all. I really don't.
Oh, no. Playful shade.
And in fact, I don't like what Whitlock had to say about her and her team. He basically made it out like he sounded like what Gino said, calling them a bunch of thugs and saying that they're undisciplined. I don't see that at all. I see them as very disciplined, tough nose. They play in your face, lockdown defense, and then they turn around and they score the ball at a crazy efficiency. That is not an undisciplined team to me. A team that I look at and I say that they're undisciplined and act like bullies, that's LSU.
You didn't say anything during UConn's dominance of the 90-game win streak or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get mad.
No, it was 110. It was like 111 games.
Right, because they had two of them. They had one during Diana's year, and then they broke that one during Maya's year. But it's like Maya's years. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm thinking to myself like Whitlock. Just because you can't beat Dawn in a one-on-one game does not mean she's a thug. Okay, bro, like just calm down, just relax yourself.
I never got that vibe from her and her girls. And if she doesn't like, if it's not handled in a way that she appreciates, I think that she definitely steps in and makes the situation what she needs it to be. So no, I don't see that at all. I think
we get it. They're physical. We get it.
They are physical. They play lockdown defense. I mean.
You once loved that game because you love Michael Jordan. They used to be lockdown defense in the 90s, just like that. Why are you mad?
Right, now? Exactly. The exact same defense. All right, so we have a result of one of the other first four games, Arizona versus Auburn. Arizona comes out on top, 69-59. Let me see how many girls they had on the roster real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're running with 7 girls still. That same 7 girls that beat Stanford, and they just beat Auburn, 69-59.
Them girls got great stamina, endurance. Heck,
okay, Ada, what can you say?
Okay, like come on now, like, gosh, I just think about when Brittany Griner had to run against UConn, and she was telling Kim, "I'm out, girl, help me out. I gotta go. I gotta get out for like a minute." And then she's like, "Yeah, I lied you." These girls in Arizona just like, "Yeah, let's go. No worries, let's do it."
Mm-hmm. That's funny. And then our other first 4 game, we got UT Martin versus Holy Cross. Holy Cross is up right now, 19-11 with 42 seconds left in the first. I had Holy Cross picked for this one.
Interesting. Why? What did you like?
I didn't know. I just picked one.
I'm
be honest. I just picked one on that one.
I would pick him just because I was born in Holy Cross Hospital.
Okay. All right, and then so tomorrow, going into our first round, we got the 8 versus the 9. We got Michigan State versus UNC. I liked what UNC did last year. I loved what Deja Kelly did last year, and it just seems like she's regressed some. I hate to say that. Like I said, I was a fan of what she did last year, but it just does not have the same intensity this season. I could see Michigan State upsetting them early on. Then we have at 12 Eastern, we got Maine versus Ohio State. Ohio State has a chip on their shoulder right now because they got knocked out of their conference tournament early by Joseph's team, the Terps.
Hello.
So I expect them to come. I expect them to come in and be very dominant until the Elite 8. Then we got Middle Tennessee versus Louisville. This is the 11 versus the 6. That will be at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. Louisville also coming into the tournament with a chip on their shoulder. I think they kind of feel like, HVL, you left us in the dust, and we're still here. Then Presbyterian versus South Carolina. We talked about that one. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Then we got Richmond versus Duke. This is a big one. Are we taking Duke? Are we taking Richmond? It's the 7 versus the 10.
I'm taking Richmond.
I was kind of thinking Richmond too.
I love Kara Lawson. I really do, girl.
I love Kara. No. I love Kara Lawson.
But I just don't like Duke. Why?
Yes, same. All right. Then we got Drexel versus Texas. This is the 1 versus the 16. That'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
You guys, listen. For all the 1 seats, if you want to make it, get it going. Just get it going. You have one of the best defensive teams in the best defensive teams in the country. There's no reason you should not be from start to finish, because in the NCAA tournament, you need defense. You need to be able to stop someone. So if you're a team that's known for your defense, ride that until you have to ride that until you can't ride it no more, because that's your calling card. Knock them out. No shade. Knock them out.
I don't take it as shade. I agree. I think that what I've seen out of these ladies in the last 7 to 8 games defensively set them apart, and that's what made them the 1 seed. Also, Stanford having that shaky game against Arizona with only 7 players and losing their conference championship as well, I think is, another reason why Texas is a 1 seed. Now, don't overlook any teams, but the defense that the 2 Shayleys have been playing, Shaylee Gonzalez and then Shaylee Holly, they have been killing it. Now, they're not going to be the same type of scorers as Rory Harmon. It's not going to happen. But then we lead with 3 forwards as well. We got Taylor Jones, we got Aaliyah Moore, and then we got Madison Booker. And all 3 of those forwards are fast and very physical in the lane. Shaylee Holly, she has the ability to get there on the 3-point line, and Gonzalez too. But it's just not the same type of shooting as what Rory Harmon had, But they adapted. They figured out who they are without Rory this season, and they are, they're driven by their point forward, and that's Madison Booker. So I anticipate, I picked them to win. I feel like it's a jinx not to pick your own team to win when they're the number 1 seed. So I got to win.
There you go.
All right, sliding over to the next matchup, we got 13 versus the 4. We got Marshall versus Virginia Tech, but Elizabeth Kitley will miss the entire rest of the season with a torn ACL.
That's tough. I like the player.
I like Kenny Brooks as a coach. Like, I think he's just, the way his passion for the women's game is so respectable. What can you say? I hate that for them. All right, then we got LSU versus Rice. That's the 3 versus the 14. That'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern. Then we got Kansas State, the 4 versus the 13 versus Portland. That'll be at 4:30 Eastern. Do we think Portland rides hot off of their conference championship and beats K-State?
No, I got K-State. Winning this game.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Then we got the 9 versus the 8. We got FSU versus Alabama. That'll be at 5:30 p.m. Then we got Vanderbilt versus Baylor. That's the 12 versus the 5. I would love for Vanderbilt to beat Baylor, but I don't see it happening. Then we got Drake versus Colorado. That is the 12 versus the 5. That is at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then moving on to Maryland versus Iowa State. This is such a tough draw for both teams in the first round. Iowa State got beat in their conference championship, and then Maryland got beat in their conference semifinals. And both of them had great tournaments. Any thoughts on this, Joseph?
Well, I definitely need to see what my girls are going to be capable of. This is definitely a different year for most of them, and the expectations are not the same. So it's going to require us to give our all every 40 minutes of the game. Each quarter, win quarter by quarter, because both teams are in the same position. Both teams are teams that are trying to make runs or trying to at least take it one game at a time, get to the next one. Just come out, play your best, play for 40 minutes, and I will take us because I still believe in us. I love my Terps. I do.
Okay.
I'm taking Maryland in this game.
I love it. Even though, I do think that Audie Crooks is to be respected. Like, take her serious. She is a part of this very young group of ladies that came in this season and made such a huge impact, that freshman class. And Audie's amazing. But what does Audie have around her? Texas showed us the blueprint. If you're able to shut down everybody else around Audie, let Audie go off. If you're able to shut down everybody else, then you're not going to be able to win the game. So, all right, moving on to our next matchup. We have a very interesting situation. We got Oregon State versus Eastern Washington. Oregon State being the team that fired their coach because she got bounced early in their conference tournament. Any thoughts on this matchup?
That's a tough way to go.
Yeah.
It's like, who's their coach?
Right. Like, what? That's just wrong. That is just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I mean, I'm sure one of the assistants stepped up, but dang, really?
Lee, you fired her, right?
And knew that they were going to be a high seed in the tournament. We all knew that Oregon State was going to be a high seed.
Yeah, that's dirty right there. That's dirty.
They had to win. I can't remember. They had to play UCLA and USC in the same week, and they came out 1-1. I don't know. I can't remember if they beat UCLA and then lost to USC. I think that's right, but or it was flip-flop the other way around. But a very good team came into the tournament with a 3 seed, and you fired her because she had a bad conference tournament. Last conference. Y'all fired me about the last Pac-12 tournament. The nerve.
It's gonna haunt them, and those girls are gonna probably be devastated. It's crazy. It's just it doesn't make sense. It's more to it. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy.
Then we got Norfolk State versus Stanford. This is the 2 versus the 15. That'll be tomorrow at 10 Eastern. And then our last game tomorrow night, we will have Nebraska versus Texas A&M. That is the 6 versus the 11. That'll be at 10:30 Eastern tomorrow night. I am going to take Nebraska, but I think Texas A&M women are just as interesting, just as much of a kind of a live wire situation as the guys. Like, they might, if they can get their energy going, they might be able to come out of this round.
There you go.
All right, and then our Saturday matchups, we got Green Bay versus Tennessee. This is the 6 versus the 11. That'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern Saturday. Jackson State versus UConn. That's the 3 versus the 14. That'll be at 1. Do any of us think Jackson State can beat UConn?
No, I don't think so.
Then we got Fairfield versus Indiana. That's the 4 versus the 13. I do think Fairfield stands a chance to make that upset. That will be Saturday at 12 or at 1:30 Eastern. Then we got Michigan versus Kansas. That's the 9 versus the 8. That'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Then we got Kent State versus Notre Dame. That's the 2 versus the 15. That'll be at 2:15 on Saturday. Then we got NC State versus Chattanooga. That'll be at 2:30 on Saturday. And we are still not sure who I will be playing yet in the first round on Saturday at 3. And then we also have Syracuse. We're not sure who they will be playing. That will be at 3:30 on Saturday. Florida Gulf Coast University will be playing Oklahoma Saturday at 4 p.m. I got Florida Gulf Coast with the upset on that one. Not only for just hating OU, but Florida Gulf Coast doesn't lose many games.
True. Yeah. Is it the former or the latter?
Both of them.
Okay.
Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus USC. This is a 1 versus a 16. That'll be at 4:30 p.m. I expect USC to be a Final 14.
Kentucky just went down. Oakland beat Kentucky.
Oh, good for them. Good for them.
What did we
Every
say?
single year, Kentucky. These last few years, Kentucky been an early bounce.
Been an early.
They are just. I'm sorry. It's never worked for you but one time, Jay Calipari.
Right.
It's never worked but one time. Your boys, you think your boys care about winning the tournament when they got the NBA draft looking at half of them? No. Like, what the heck? Ain't nobody care? Like, why they care about they only come in here because they know they're trying to go to the league. That's it. So you're never going to have everybody buy in because when you don't play as a team all the time, you suffer.
They just said that their top player had 10 threes.
Who?
10
Kentucky?
threes. No.
Oh, Oakland? Dang, man.
Threes.
Listen,
Okay.
it's crazy. It's just crazy. But again, it happens everywhere he has gone. I was with him when he was at UMass with Marcus Camby getting all the way, and then I was fine with him at Memphis. But when he gets to Kentucky, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, bro, like, are you talking to them about developing some type of education? Or are you just telling them, here, come over here so we can try to win with what we got, and then go to the league? It's going to be so hard to win if you do that. This is going to be so hard.
Then sliding back to the ladies, we got the 7 versus the 10, Ole Miss versus Marquette. This will be Saturday at 4:45 p.m. I'm going with Coach Yo on this one. I'm picking Ole Miss. Then we got Princeton versus Virginia. This is probably one of the hardest games to pick. This is the 9 versus the 8. Princeton going off of Caitlin Chin having an amazing season. West Virginia had one of the best seasons they've had in a while. I think that they probably would have been ranked higher if they would have had some bigger non-conference games, but they played well in the Big 12. I don't know who to pick in that one. I think I took Princeton, but
What was that? What was the other spot?
Princeton versus West Virginia, 8 versus 9.
I'm gonna take West Virginia to win it. I'm gonna take West Virginia. Wouldn't be surprised if Princeton win though. I'm gonna take West Virginia.
I mean, Caitlin Chen has had an amazing season. Then we got the 10 versus the 7, UNLV versus Creighton. UNLV having probably their 4th straight conference championship. Amazing few seasons. I'm picking UNLV in this one. Then UC Irvine versus Gonzaga, the 4 versus 13. I have Gonzaga getting past this round. UCLA versus Cal Baptist. UCLA, I have UCLA also as a Final Four team. I think that UCLA versus USC for the last Pac-12, they match up in the semis. Then San Diego State versus Utah, the 5 versus the 12. That'll be tomorrow or Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So that is our last of our first round matchups. Any of those last ones that y'all want to touch on before we go?
You covered it. Now it's just let's play ball. Jeez, let's go.
All right. Well, we will let you guys go. Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the March Madness. And we will be back next week with some sad stories and some really wonderful Cinderella stories.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen to that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, sharing. We appreciate you guys so much. And we will see you back next week, same time.